Welcome to Steady Growth, where we build money, character, and resilience the same way. Small, steady, and on purpose. No hype, just honest steps that add up. Let's begin. Picture it. Chocolate smeared corner to corner across your kid's face. The empty wrapper right there on the floor, and your child looks you dead in the eye and says, "I didn't eat it." And two things hit you at the same time. Part of you almost wants to laugh because the evidence is literally on their chin, and part of you goes tight, a small, quiet worry. Is my kid a liar? Am I raising someone dishonest? Okay, breathe. I've got genuinely good news for you, and then I'm going to show you something most parents get exactly backwards. That clumsy little lie, it is not a sign something went wrong. It's a sign your child's brain is developing right on schedule. In fact, it's a sign it's developing well. And here's the part almost nobody nails. What you do in the next 10 seconds will either teach your kid that the truth is safe or quietly coach them into a much better liar. Same kid, same moment. Two completely different futures, decided by your next breath. Watch how this builds, because by the end, you'll have something you can use tonight. Start here, because it changes everything. Lying isn't a glitch that shows up in bad kids. It's a milestone that shows up in all of them. Researchers test it with a game so simple it's almost funny. They tell a child, "Don't peek at this toy," then leave the room and secretly film what happens next. Almost every kid peeks. That part's just being a kid. The interesting bit is what they say afterward. At 2 or 3, most of them just confess. They can't really help it. The thought and the words come out as one piece. But right around age 4, something clicks, and they'll look you square in the eye and say, "Nope, didn't peek," and watch the timeline build. A little older, and they don't just lie, they start covering their tracks, lining up the story so it holds together. That's not your kid going rotten, that's your kid's mind leveling up. And here's the genuinely wild finding. The kids who are best at that little lie are often the ones who are a step ahead, because to pull off a convincing lie, a child has to grasp something remarkable, that what's in your head is different from what's in theirs, and that words can change what you believe. That's a real cognitive leap. So when your 4-year-old tells their first proper whopper, some weird little corner of you can almost be proud. Their brain just unlocked a new power. Our job is just to teach them when not to swing it around. So why do they do it? And once you see the real reasons, the whole thing gets so much less scary. Because kids almost never lie to be cruel. They lie for a small handful of very human reasons. Watch this. The big one, by a mile, is to dodge trouble, to slip past a punishment or a disappointed face they think is coming. They lie to please you, because they've cracked the code on the answer you want, and they desperately want to hand it to you. Sometimes they lie to feel a little bigger, a little more impressive. Sometimes they're just running an experiment to see what happens when they say a thing that isn't true. But feel the thread running under almost all of it: fear and wanting to stay close to you. A kid who lies to avoid trouble is, underneath, a kid trying to protect their connection with you and stay out of the danger zone. Hold on to that, because it leads straight to the single most counterintuitive finding in any of this. Here it comes, and it runs against every instinct you've got. Threatening to punish lying does not make kids more honest. It usually makes them less honest. Researchers ran this carefully with hundreds of kids in that same peaking setup. Some were warned they'd be in trouble if they lied. Others were simply asked to tell the truth because it was the right thing to do or because it would make the grown-up happy. And the kids facing the threat of punishment? They lied more. And once you see why, you can't unsee it. If lying is mostly about escaping trouble, then the bigger and scarier you make the trouble, the more reason you've just handed the kid to lie their way out. You didn't remove the motive, you supercharged it. And worse, Every single time a kid lies to dodge a punishment and it works, they get a little smoother, a little more practiced. So the well-meaning parent who comes down hard on every fib isn't raising an honest kid. Without meaning to, they've quietly opened a training camp for a really skilled liar. Threats teach kids to hide better. They never teach them why honesty matters. Okay, deep breath. Here's the good part. If punishment backfires, what actually works? 4 moves, and you can start every one of them today. Watch them stack up. Move 1, the big one. Make the truth safe. Your kid has to believe that telling the truth will genuinely go better for them than lying would. That doesn't mean no consequences ever. It means the consequence for the broken vase is smaller when they come clean, and you say that part out loud. Move 2, praise the confession itself, separate from the mess. "That was really hard to tell me, and I'm so glad you did," said before you deal with the vase. Notice the order there. It matters. You name the courage first, then you clean up the glass. That tiny sequence teaches them honesty is a thing you notice and a thing you treasure, even on the days it arrives wrapped around bad news. Move 3, appeal to who they are, not to the threat. Kids tell the truth more when it's framed as, be the kind of person who's honest, it'll feel good to do the right thing, rather than, you'll be in trouble if you don't. And move 4, this one's lovely. Read them stories where honesty is the hero and gets the reward, not stories where the liar gets clobbered. The research is clear. Kids tell the truth more after a story that celebrates honesty than after one that punishes lying. You're not scaring them out of lying. You're building the conditions where the truth is the easy, safe, obvious choice. Now here's the part that stings a little, and we have to be honest, because this episode is kids and adults for a reason. Children learn what lying is and when it's allowed, mostly by watching us. And friend, we lie constantly, in tiny ways right in front of them. Tell them I'm not home. I love it, thank you, about a gift we clearly do not love. We're almost there, when we are absolutely not almost there. If you don't stop, we are leaving right now, when we both know we are not leaving. Most of these are small, social, harmless feeling. But your kid is watching, and they're kicking up 2 lessons at once, that lying is a normal grown-up tool, and more costly, that the rules you say out loud don't have to match what you actually do. So here's the most powerful honesty lesson you will ever teach, and it isn't a lecture. It's letting your kids catch you telling an inconvenient truth, admitting your own mistake, keeping a small promise it would have been easier to break. And this one's my favorite because it's so ordinary. The cashier hands you too much change, and your kid watches you count it, notice it, and hand the extra back. That tiny moment teaches more about honesty and about money than any speech you could give. They learn it the way they learn everything, by watching which version of you actually shows up. Now, let me be honest with you, because on this channel, calm and accurate beats clever. None of this means you shrug at lying or pretend it doesn't matter. Honesty is one of the most important things you'll ever build in a kid, and a child who finds that lying reliably works will keep right on doing it. For some, it hardens into a go-to move over time. So this is not ignore it, it's respond to it the way that actually works. Stay calm, because your panic is what makes the truth feel dangerous. Deal with the lie and the thing under it, honestly, just without the threat and fear spiral that trains better liars. And keep the long game in view. You are not trying to win the argument about the chocolate today. You are trying, across 1,000 small moments, to become the person your kid feels safe bringing hard truths to. At 4 and at 14, when the truths are a whole lot bigger than a candy bar. So here's the whole thing to carry with you. When your child tells that first clumsy lie, it isn't a crisis. It's a milestone, a sign their mind is growing right on time. They lie, almost always, out of fear and a wish to stay close to you, which means the answer was never to make them more afraid. Punishment just teaches them to hide better. The answer is to make the truth the safe choice. Praise the hard confession, appeal to the good person they're becoming, and above all, let them catch you choosing honesty when it costs you something. Do that patiently for years, and you earn the thing every parent actually wants. Not a kid who never messes up, a kid who, when it matters most, decides to come and tell you. Make the truth safe. Be the person they can tell anything. If something here was useful today, the best thing you can do is use it tonight in one small way. And if you'd like to keep growing with us, you're welcome in our tribe at familycreative.org. It's where we gather the tools and resources we build for people doing this on purpose, and where you can learn more, share what's working, and help someone a few steps behind you. That's the whole point. Small, steady, together. Be kind, try hard, do the work, build the family. We'll see you in the next one.